Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald. Board is away right now at a wedding, so I'm doing a bunch of solo videos here. And right now we're going to do a rulebook rundown of Foxpaw. Boom. So Foxpaw is a game that is heavily inspired by the Wizarding world. And there was some controversy about the art involved, of course. I'm not going to touch on that. The creators have said what they needed to say about what they did and how they did it. That does not impact the gameplay at all. So, and also I didn't know about it when I backed the game initially. So I have it now. So we're going to play it. All right. So Foxpaw. So we didn't unbox for it already, so I'm going to get that out of the way here. We do have the expansion, the Lost Roots expansion as well. I'm going to just go through the primary rules here. If these are quick enough, I could probably go through these too. But we're going to start off with the regular rules for Foxpaw. Okay, starting with the invitation. Dear new arrival, the wait is over. After years of patience waiting for an invitation to a magic school, it has finally arrived. Yes, you are magical. And yes, this is your invitation. We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted to Foxpaw, School of Magic and Witchcraft. The school year begins this weekend. Attached to this letter, you will find a list of items you will need for your time at Foxpaw. You await your post with confirmation. With best regards, Gina West, House Aquatis, Prefect of Foxpaw. Okay. We'll start digging. I'm going to pull out big here because the board is awfully big if I remember correctly. So, about the game. Foxpaw is an interactive worker placement game where you, as aspiring talents of a magic school, compete with your magical beasts over 5 school years for the victory of your house. Through correct decisions and tactical moves, you gather victory points for your houses with the aim of having more points than all other houses at the end. On the way, however, you will encounter many challenges, as the first step is to find the right house for you and be accepted into it. You must gather resources to upgrade your equipment, like broom and wand, while also improving your attributes such as knowledge and strength. Between certain school years, special events await you. The so-called magical events, each with its unique requirements and characteristics. Whoever has collected the most victory points, or VP, for their house after a total of 5 school years and 3 magical events wins. So, what are you waiting for? Has no one told you yet? You are magical. All right, then of course you have your material list and everything, all the components and such, all the different houses and funnies. All right, so for setup, first place the game board in the center between all players. For 4 players, use the side that shows 1 through 4. For 2 to 3 players, use the side that shows towers 1 through 3. All right. So we'll put this on the 1 to 3 side because that's probably what we'll be most likely playing. I would love to do the 1 through 4 side, but no. We'll show you the other side. Full board. There we go. Boom. Gorgeous board. Gorgeous. Very colorful. I like it. Alrighty. Now, place the time token on school year una. The time token. Yes, I know what that is. Sure. I know exactly where the time token is. I believe it's is this the time token? What's the time token? That's the time token. Little clear silver one, so year 1. Bang, right there. Una. Should we get closer for you? Yeah, ooh, can we go more? Ooh, too close. There we go. So time token. Number 1. And just make some room over here. We need that. Okay. Place the 4 level 3 to 5 wand cards, as well as the 4 level 3 to 5 broom cards on the table next to each other, face down. Place the sale sign between the wand and broom cards. Okay. So, looks like that's going above the board here. I'm going to do it. I can't do it there. I guess I'm going back up. This takes up space. So, we have broom, wand, right up here. Okay. And let me get those cards out. There we go. We did a full unboxing of this. I went through afterwards and reboxed everything up after initially going through the rule book to make sure everything had its place. Okay, so let me get the wand and the broom cards. Broom. That is 0 to 2. We don't need those. There's 3 to 5. I don't know why those are shuffled. And all okay. Okay, so looks like we're placing these all around. Now place the 4 cards on top of those. Okay. So place the 4 level 3 to 4 wand cards. So the 4 of those broom cards next to on the table next to each other, face down. Place the sale sign between the wand and broom cards. So it looks like these are all going like this, I do believe. Really? Top. There you go. That's what we can do. And we're going to do the same for the wands. Boom. And that says to place the 0 to 2 face up on top of them. Obviously, broom on top of broom, wand on top of wand. Okay. Done. 2 to 3, yeah, wow. In a 2 to 3 player game, remove all broom and wand cards with the 4 icon on them from the game. So here you can see this little 4 icon on there. All right. Shuffle the magical beast cards. Let me move this guy off to the side even more. We're gonna need, I feel like we're gonna need all sides of this thing to do this video. Put you guys over there. All right, magical beast cards. Ooh, which ones are you? The ones that have a picture of the beast on the back? I would guess so. None of those. I think you're in here. There we are. I don't know what you are. Oh, you're those. Okay, so it says to shuffle the magical beast cards. These cards. And place 4 of them face up in the selection. The rest will be face down in a pile. Okay? So we're creating a market of these cards, it seems like. So let's go back to the top up here. We're going to go over to the side, though. We'll do it right here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the rest go face down, it says. Okay. Place the resources, so the goods, herbs, and coins, so they're easily accessible to everybody. Those we all have in a bag, which is nice. So these are the goods. I'll show you what these look like. So I have a nice little bag here. And those are the goods. So I'm going to put those just below the board for now. It's just me doing this setup at the moment. Bag for herbs. Those are herbs, little leaves. Then we have money. Got money, which is fun. These instead of doing coins or punch outs, they just have wooden money tokens, which is kind of fun. Put those over to the side as well. Okay. Baggy. Shuffle the Prophecy, Mischief, and Darkness cards and place them face down, 3 piles next to the game board. Okay, so not you. All right, so these. Okay, so that's one of them. These are Darkness cards. So these Darkness cards will get shuffled. Now we'll place these right here. We also need Mischief cards. Different baggie. I bagged everything because the storage in this doesn't actually have anything like to hold the cards. I don't want them to get ruined. So these are the Mischief cards. So shuffle those. Are these all? Nope, those are all different. Okay, yeah. So we shuffle those. Place these next to the board as well. So we'll go right there. Can move these down so you guys can actually see. There we go. And the Prophecy cards. Ooh. These are the Prophecy cards. Shuffle those as well. These probably have all little prophecies on them. I think you fulfill these points in some way. Okay, we'll put those right below them, right there. Prophecy cards. Okay. Place the wands next to the game board. We have 2 classic wands. These did come with the expansion for the deluxe game, so we'll put those right here next to the game board. Now prepare all character boards and the corresponding colored markers. You will take these later once you are admitted to your houses. So the character boards are these. So the green ones from the expansion. So the base comes with the red, the white, the blue, the purple. We also have the green now as well. You're only ever going to use 4 of these. You will never use all 5 at the same time. So it says prepare them. They're already prepared. We have everything in bags and whatnot right here. So when we take our tokens, I'll go over what we're taking when we do that. So for now, those are off to the side until we get to the point where we get characters. Okay. Prepare the orange meeple. It's an additional special magical beast. That's this little guy right here. So we'll put him up here by the beasties in the corner. Why not? See him right there? Poke his head. Boop. Hello. Fun. Okay. Shuffle the 6 dual arena cards and place them on their corresponding spaces. So dual arena cards right here. Okay. So shuffle these. So place them on the corresponding space, which is right there. Reveal the top card. Top one's being revealed. There we are. Shuffle the Midnight Carnival cards, which are so these are the Midnight Carnival cards. So we'll just shuffle these. Draw 5 of them face down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And place them next to the Midnight Carnival space. Reveal the first one. Return all other unused to the box that will not be used during this game. So these 5 go here with the top one revealed. Right there. Awesome. Next, shuffle the teacher cards. Place them face down in a pile on the corresponding teacher space and reveal the top card. Okay. Teacher cards. Oh, those are it's expansion. The teacher cards. Find those. Which ones are teacher cards? What does the back of the teacher look like? Those are kids. Those clearly aren't teachers. Where are the teachers? There they are. Okay. These are the teacher cards. Okay. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Revealing the top one. The rest go into a face down pile on the teacher section. Okay. Now shuffle the spell cards. Place one card face up on each corresponding position next to the game board. Place the remaining pile next to the game board. Okay. I believe these are, yes. So these are the spell cards. All of these, the Foxpaw print in the book icon. So you're going to shuffle these. The one goes face up next to each of these spots, and the rest will just go face down to be drawn later. So, I think you need to come up for that one. Yep, go. So we're putting them face up over here. So it looks like they make a book. That's fun. And these will just go right there later. Cool. Or we can even do this like they have in the book. Boom. That works. Okay. Now we are shuffling the magical events and place one of them face down on each of the 3 spaces of the game board. The remaining magical event cards go back in the box. They won't be needed this round. Assume it means this game. Magical events. These are the magical events. Symbolism matches. So we're going to do 3. We're not going to need 3 this game. There's some words that are flip-flopped in this rule book. I think that the game was made primarily in German and then translated to English. So some of the translations don't come over exactly. So reading this can be confusing sometimes. So you have to really just kind of infer as to the situation you're in and what it's supposed to mean. But that's part of the reason why I'm doing this video, to help out. Okay, so then these each go face down. These 4 will go back in the box. Unseen. Ooh. Okay. All right. Now we will place the magical event action cards within reach. They will be needed later. And those are... What are you? These. So we come in here in the middle. So these correlate to a specific magical event type. So these are all just kind of in a stack. We'll just put them off to the side. We'll put them right here for now, at the top. That way, you can see when we need them for later, we got them. Okay? Now shuffle the student cards and deal 2 to each player. All right. Student cards. the ones with the foxes in the back. So you deal 2 to each player. So I'm just going to deal 2 to myself. This is set up for a 4-player game. So you would obviously deal 2 to each of the 4 players. I'm just going to deal 2 to myself right now. Okay. Now shuffle the starting material cards and randomly give 1 to each player. So again, boom, boom, boom. Note, playing with less than 4 players, there is one of these, the number 4, which has the 4-player marker you would remove from the game. So we are playing with 4 though, so let's shuffle those bad boys up. And you would give 1 to each player. Okay. And that is the initial game setup. So, I'm going to skip over the definition of going to bed first, last, golden rule, start of the game, I think. And no, I guess I should, because then the start of the game comes into the choice of houses. I was going to go to the choice of houses first and then this, but we'll go in order because they made it in that order for a reason. All right. So, definition of go to bed first / last. In Foxpaw, everyone must place exactly 1 of their wizard meeples, and I'll show you what those are. Let me grab 1 for you, so I can demonstrate to be as clear as possible. So, in the game, we all have a number of wizard meeples, okay? So it's saying, in Foxpaw, everyone must place exactly 1 wizard meeple in the night per school year, which defines when they go to bed. The night spaces denoted with the moon are any of these spaces. So exactly 1 of your meeples has to go in 1 of these 7 spaces. Okay? Going to bed earlier, aka the dorm, has different advantages / disadvantages than going to bed later by going to the midnight carnival, essentially going out late at night. In the case of going to bed first / last, so that specific phrase, it only depends on the position within the night at which the wizards are standing, but not when they were placed there in the night within the round. So, the lower number in the night space, so 1 here, the earlier they went to bed. Makes sense. If the current sleeping order is mentioned in the rules or in the game, so let me get another, just meeple here so you know. So, 3 or 2. So if the current sleeping order is mentioned in the rules or in the game, it is therefore about who has taken the lowest possible number in this current school year, starting in the dormitory from top to bottom, then following Midnight Carnival from top to bottom. Make sense? So if this guy was over here, then it goes top to bottom here before it goes top to bottom there. We will actually do 1 more person out here just to really make sure we drive this home. This is the section that made me read it a couple times because I wasn't familiar with the board. So with this situation here, it would go red, white, then blue. Or if we had this, it would go red, blue, then white. Make sense? Okay. The same applies to first cast a spell. Here you want to occupy the top space of a spell. So looking at the, I believe these here are talking about for the spell spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They're numbered that way, 1, 2, 3. So that way, when it says first, it's literally who's first, like whoever is above the other player. Here, like you don't have to put them in the 1. So here you could choose to go to 3 if you want, but then somebody later could in turn go to 1. Okay? The golden rule. If a card text contradicts the rules in these instructions, the text on the card always takes precedence over the rules. So every other game you've ever played, that is the golden rule. Cards over rulebook. The tiebreaker. If 2 or more people have the same number of stars, which are victory points, same number of stars, victory points, darkness value, fulfilled prophecies, or the result of a magical event, the player who went to bed earlier in the current round decides. In the rules, we always abbreviate this to current sleep order. So tiebreakers is always based on the current sleep order. So right now, red would break all ties. They would decide. So like if blue and white, is that what it's saying? Oh no, so tiebreaker is sleep order currently. So if blue and white were tied, white would end up being the winner because they went to bed earlier. Even though red went earliest, they weren't involved at all. So it's not saying that red would get to choose, I think blue's going to win. No, it's like this breaks the tie. This is the tiebreaker. Start of game. Foxpaw's place ancient traditions, and many families have been sending their children to schools for generations. It's not just about education, but also about fame and reputation for the families, who usually have a clear idea of which house their offspring should belong to. On the student cards, the housing preferences, actually, let me get, so on the student cards, the house preference of your parents are depicted. If you are one of the orphaned children accepted into Foxpaw, you will not find any parental wishes on your card. So, what it's showing here, let's go, right here. So, this is the parental housing preference, Igni, the red one. This is an orphan child. There is no housing preference. Okay? You have the choice whether to fulfill your parents' wishes and choose their preferred house, or to take your own destiny into your hands and break with tradition and choose a house according to your own taste. Both paths offer you different starting conditions. Okay, so let me move this out of the way so you can see what they mean. All right, let's go over here. Boom, there we go. Just have this set up here. Okay. So if you remain true to your family tradition and choose the house according to your parents' wish, so here, this would be choosing Igni. Okay. You immediately receive a one-time bonus of +2 coins and +2 permanent stars at the start of the game, which shows here. So there's 2 little symbols there that stand for +2 coin, and then +2 stars right there at the top. Slide your student card underneath your character board so that, as a reminder of these permanent stars, you can still see the stars. Turn your house card to the side where only one ability is visible, not 2 abilities. So each house has a house card with abilities. So if I chose to stay with my family's wishes, I would slide this in like such. So that way I could still see the 2 stars. And it's this other way. And then this I would put on the side with just the 1 ability. So this is double-sided, there's 2. This would go on this side with just the 1 skill for right now. You guys unlatch for each other. Here we go. Okay. If you break with your family tradition or play as one of the orphaned children, so boom, so boom. So we'll go with this one as if we're breaking tradition. Slide your student card underneath your character board so that the stars are no longer visible. So instead of this, because we're breaking tradition, or if we were choosing to use our orphaned child, we would slide this so there are no stars. So that would be the same for him, or if you just chose a person that has no preference, you would always do this. Even though these are printed on there, you're never going to get those as an orphan child. It's kind of mean to put them on there. So you'd slide them like so. We'll continue to use the other guide. That way you can see the example. So not choosing Igni, we slide just like that. So you can't see the stars. And as you don't need them. The additional ability of your house is automatically unlocked. Turn the house card to the side where you can see both abilities. So because we chose not Igni, obviously we don't have the right card, but instead of only having one ability, you start with both of your abilities unlocked. So the trade-off is you don't get the money or the stars to start. Instead, you start off more powerful in a different way. All right. So look at your 2 drawn student cards. Starting magic material cards, choose 1 student card secretly. The other one goes back into the box without revealing it. Okay, so let's set up our 3 houses we have out here as an example currently. So we have a blue, we have a white, and we'll say we have a red. I'm going to put these all over to the side here. So we'll say he chose to start where he's at. Boom. We'll say this person is an orphan, and we'll grab another person at random. They are also choosing to be an orphan because they have the white as their parents' preference. They're saying, no, I'm going blue all the way. And there we are. Okay. So he gets the 1 skill. They get the 2 skill. And then we need the blue over here. They will get the 2 skill because they're also not choosing their parents' housing preference. Boom, boom, boom. Scooch over a little bit more. Make sure they're all in there for you. There we are. Okay? Makes the sense? I think so. All right. So we'll say those are our children currently. All right. Where are we at now? We are on the starting materials. So the big number on your starting material card indicates your turn order. So he has 1, 3, and he has 4. Okay? Highest number going first, the next highest number going second, and so on. So yeah, so 1, 3, 4. Obviously, so first, second, third. Pretty straightforward. Come back out to this here. Now that we have everything set up there. Okay. Everyone now takes the components that belong to their house. So, of those components, if I were to put everything as I take this stuff out. Here we go. Jesus. Dude. So, in these components here, you're going to have 1 character board, 4 wizard figures, which I showed you earlier. So 4 wizard figures. You're going to have a magical beast in their color. Red actually has 2 magical beasts in their color, because this is how they're special. 1 marker for energy, reputation, strength, and knowledge in their color. Let me just dump all this out here. So we have, where are you guys? Go. So you have your strength. They're very small. So we will put that on whatever starts. 0. I'm going to put it on right now. Tell me to move it, I'm sure. Knowledge. We're dumb, so we'll start that at 0 as well. Where is, there we go. Hearts, start at 0. And energy, start at 0. So we have all those. We have our creatures. Those aren't real there. Do they? Oh, you might. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Cool. So you got a spot for your creatures there. Your 4 wizards going down the side. And then these tokens, I don't even know where these go. Those don't fit in there. I guess they do. Is that where they go though? I don't know. See? I don't think so. Anyway, so you have your creatures, your 4 spell markers, which are these little acrylic diamond looking things. 3 event markers, which are these little triangle event markers. Right there. Go. Okay. 3 betting cards. So we have these here, so 3 betting cards. So those are hers, his. Oh. And his. We're just gonna move you over. I don't care. Go. And his. Okay. Got our little pieces and bobs. The wizards are all taking naps here. Come here, buddy. It's gonna be me the entire time we play this, as well as board. Just knocking down all these pieces that are so close together. Stop it! Go on, get on there. Okay. I'll just open it over there. 1 energy dial. So that's this here. This is your energy dial. Okay. Put you on top of the bedding. 1 house card. That's that. A Trifrost, House Trifrost receives an additional ice marker. So, Trifrost, we get an additional, which one are you? This one. Additional ice marker for stuff that they do, their special abilities. And then also take the appropriate rewards depending on whether you fulfilled your family's wishes or not. Okay. I think these are going down here. It's going up there. Boom. So he fulfilled his family wishes, so he gets 2 permanent stars. 1, 2. And he would get the 2 money as well as the starting resources that he has. So he has 1, 2 money. Okay. Go around in turn until everyone has chosen their house and the corresponding game materials. So, game materials on here. Looks like we are starting 0, 1. I don't even know what that 1 means. What does that 1 mean? 1 house? So 6 energy, looks like, starts with. He has a broom. Which grants him 3 stars to start. Another 3. 2 on his hearts there. Vitality, I assume. Knowledge, strength, reputation. 2 supplies. 2 more money. And 2 herbs. So he starts off with 4 money because he went to his parents' wishes. 2 supply. And 2 herb. Okay. Then they would go through and do the same for all theirs. I'm not going to just because I don't have a lot of space. I was going to, but no need. Have all that. Don't know what the orb means on that. 2. What does that mean? Does it go over materials? It's got to, right? What does the circle mean? I really don't know. Interesting. 1. Oh, nice. So one of these. One of these are. See number 6. 1 mischief card, right? No. Oh, one prophecy card. There we go. So you start off with a prophecy card. Mischief, prophecy, darkness. So it gets, that's what the circle is. It's prophecy. Boom. Okay. There we go. Good deal. So everyone goes around and gets their materials. Now, according to the turn order, starting material cards take the resources and equipment as specified on the cards. So that's what I just did. So resources and equipment. So it did that. Okay. If you have not yet received a magical beast from your starting material cards at the start of the game, place your magical beast meeple on the game board on the farm. So these two will go on the game board, which is over here on the farm. Okay? Everybody else would have put theirs out there too. He has two because of his house. Okay. Set the specific values on the tracks of your character boards using the markers. Did that. Place all victory point markers and all star markers on the 0 of their respective tracks. Okay. Victory points, stars. That was at 0, but I got a bunch. So from the broom and from his 2, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why it's at 5. Place the duel markers of the dueling houses in the duel arena as shown on the duel card. These markers of the remaining houses go to the spectator seats below the arena. So, we we're playing a 4-player game, so I guess I will... There's only 3 out right now, but we'll get these out to show you what they mean. What do they mean? Da, 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 da. This is where there's the interactive portion of the game to where you actually battle each other. Okay, so on the card, the dueling houses, right, is what it's saying. Place a duel marker of the dueling houses in the duel arena as shown in the dueling card. The markers of the remaining houses go to the spectator seats below. So right now it shows, well, blue and white actually being the ones that are dueling. Okay. So, red's a spectator, black's a spectator. We got white and we have blue who are dueling. All right. The first school year begins now. Start in reverse order. The person who chose house last starts the game. The second to last person goes second, and so on. Place your turn order tokens on the order house in the tower. Okay, so essentially reverse order. So the 1, 3, 4, you got to choose your houses first, and now the person who went last and choosing their house gets to go first. So blue would have gone last. 3, so then white. Black would have been second, and I would have been first. So this is the actual gameplay order now on the board. Okay. So then it goes over the houses and their abilities and stuff, which you'll see when you play the game. So I'm not going to read through that. We're going to go through the character boards and everything on them. So let's see. Do I have a good... Yeah. Is that better? Yeah, go with that. Okay. So there are talents. If you gain talent like strength, knowledge, reputation, or energy, you move the marker up on the corresponding bar. So strength, knowledge, reputation, energy. Okay? Your strength and your knowledge can never decrease, but your reputation can fall below 0. For example, depending on whether you go to bed early or late. So that can make things go up or down. So you see here, your reputation can go below by 2. Everything else can never go below 0. Okay? You would have a bad reputation. So then adjust the values in the corresponding track. So set those. So the example they give here, which you can see, so red down arrows, if there's 2 of them, that means you go down by 2. Green arrow going up means you go up by however many of those green arrows are. So here it shows 1, so you go up by 1. Strength, which is the fist here, or the arm. So strength is needed for certain magical events and for buying brooms. Whoever reaches a strength value of 8 gains 1 VP. So you see here at the top, it has this little icon. So when you get up there, you would gain 1. This is the VP track on the bottom of the board. Okay? Knowledge, you need for magical events and for buying wands. And this, when you get to 8, also gives you a VP. Reputation, the hearts. Your reputation shows how popular you are at Foxpaw. From a reputation value of 3, you can use 2 spells. So right here, when you get to this 3rd spot right there, you can use 2 spells. Simultaneously per action in the class. So you can use 2 spells at once. If the space allows it, the reward on the reputation track says, for example, +2 stars, -1 star, +1 darkness card are always counted only once after the magical events of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th school year, not every school year. Oh, the +2 stars, the -1 there. Okay. So those are counted just one time after magical events of 2nd, 4th, and 5th school year, not in every school year. Okay. Energy over here. You need energy for all magical events and for the spaces where you gain knowledge and strength, as well as for many spells. So energy is very valuable. Okay. So resources, that's all of these items here. So the resources, herbs, goods, and coins are not limited. You will receive the markers from the general supply. Put them back there after you've spent them, obviously. So herbs are the leaves. You need herbs for certain magical events and for some spells and for attracting magical beasts. The goods, you need goods for certain magical events, for some spells, and for purchasing prophecies, which I've started off with 1 prophecy right there. Coins, you need coins for certain magical events to buy objects like wands and brooms and for some spells. Also, they count as a wild card resource for goods and herbs. But be careful, if you use coins as wild cards, you lose 1 reputation per use, not per number of coins. So that means if I were to use 3 coins at once to substitute, my reputation would go down by 1. It would not go down by 3 because it's not per coins per each time you use it to sub. Okay, cool. Those are the talents and the resources. Now we get into playing the game. All right, let's go back to the main board. So the game lasts 5 rounds or school years. Each round works like this. You have the placement phase, which is where you're placing out your people, your meeple, your wizards. You got your evaluation phase. You possibly have a magical event and intermediate scoring, which happens on the 2nd, 4th, and 5th school year. I'm going to use the wand to point as I talk. So the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th school year, you have a magical event. The 1st and the 3rd, you do not. The cleanup phase. So in your first game, it says even if it's your first game, if it's your first game, it says to skip the 5th school year and the 3rd magical event. The final scoring will then take place at the 2nd. So no, just play the game. Unless you really can't handle a longer game. But it's probably best to learn if you just go through the whole thing. Placement phase. Beginning with the starting character, blue. Take turns, placing 1 wizard or 1 magical beast on an empty space on the game board. Only 1 wizard or 1 magical beast can be placed on each space. You may only place 1 meeple per turn. Then it is the next person's turn to place 1 meeple. Repeat this until all wizards and beasts are on the game board. Everywhere you can, choose where you place your meeple. Only in the dormitory, you always sit as high as possible. So everyone goes through placing out all of their wizards in whatever spots they're going to be placing them. The only place where it has to go to the highest section is if you go into the dorm or into the night down here, where you have to place at least one of your wizarding meeples there. You cannot use your beast that you claim down here. It has to be, a wizard. So we'd go through, place out all of our people, and then it would go on to the evaluation phase. But first we have some clarifications around the morning spaces and the night spaces. So morning space, which is here and here, and here. So everything down this left side of the board is a morning space. If you place a wizard or a magical beast on a morning space, so any of these, with the sun symbol, yep, you immediately resolve it. You immediately receive the rewards. It says for the square, but it's the circle that's in there, or the square, whatever. All other spaces are resolved after all wizards and beasts are on the game board. So for the sun spaces, the moment you put them down, you resolve whatever it says in that space. So going here, you'll be taking one of these cards, and then this spot, you immediately gain that reputation. So all these, the moment you put it in there, you immediately gain whatever benefit it shows next to the space. And pay or get whatever says in the space as well, appears. So it seems like there's a cost to go to these spaces. Night spaces, so here and there. There are 2 night spaces, the dormitory and the midnight carnival. There must always be exactly 1 wizard, not a magical beast, per person placed on one of those 2 night spaces with the moon symbol, right there, right there. It doesn't matter when you do this during the placement phase, as long as everyone has placed exactly 1 wizard on a night space at the end of the phase. Remember, those who go to bed earlier gain special advantages. This can be more energy available to you in the next round, and you get to take your turn earlier. So this here essentially decides new turn order. You go to bed earlier, you get reputation, and you get your 6 energy, and then you also would get to go first next time. Over here, you don't get reputation, and I believe you only get that energy. We'll cover that in a moment, though. Okay. It's important. You may also enter spaces where you can or do not want to use its effect. You can still do this, but you will not receive. Okay. So you can go to any space where you can or don't want the effect. So if you want to enter the scout space in the farm to fulfill a prophecy, even though you no longer have the opportunity to scout magical events, as all spaces are occupied for magical events. Got it. You can still do this, but you will not receive the effects of the space. So you can put a meeple in a space, even though you can't fulfill the effect, just to take up the space. All right, so after you've placed all wizards and magical beasts and evaluated all morning spaces, you proceed to the evaluation phase. Okay. Evaluation phase. Deal with the other spaces according to the path shown on the game board. The path determines the order in which the spaces are dealt with. It first leads to the duel arena. Okay. So the path is going from here, I guess, all the way over. So could you do all the morning spaces right away? So it first leads to the duel arena, then to the sports field, then to the tower library, follow the arrows to the study hall, boom, okay, follow the next arrow to the classroom, follow the arrows to the dormitory, and from there, finally, via the stairs outside to the Midnight Carnival. Each space is always processed from top to bottom. So the morning space is activated immediately, so essentially you do all this the moment it's put down, and this is the path we're talking about following, is literally this path right here. And then the arrows. right. So the sports field and the library. So sports field, library. On these spaces, the downward arrow is shown. So you can see right here, there's a downward arrow for all those. This means that in addition to the rewards of the space you're on, you also receive strength or knowledge rewards for each empty space directly below your space without interruption by another meeple. The more time you spend here, the more energy it will cost you, so pay 1 energy for each of these spaces accordingly. But you can also use fewer spaces if you prefer to save energy. All right, so it gives an example here. So it has red at the top, and then white on number 2. And it says, red has placed their marker on the first strength space, there. Red lowers his energy by 1 and receives the strength bump. So lower energy by 1, receive the strength bump. And you get the 1 coin, which is next to the space there. White could now lower their energy by 3 and receive +3 strength and 1 coin. So because there's nobody below them, they can either just do the lower strength by 1 for the space they're on and bump that up by 1, or they can take advantage of all spaces below and lower the strength by 1, 2, and 3 to get all side benefits and to get this benefit 3 times. But you still pay the cost. It's pretty cool. They can also just do the 2. So you could also just go 1, 2. It's your choice. The one you're on or any below that are open. All right. If this happened to be the case, on spaces receive offer for empty spaces directly below your space. So here, red could get 2, and white could get 2. So, because there's one empty space here that's uninterrupted, and here's one empty space there. All right, new turn order for the next round. So once everyone has resolved their wizards or magical beasts, the person who went to bed earliest in this track here, so we'll move these down to see. Boom. So they move their marker to the starting position for the next round. You receive energy and reputation bonuses. Adjust your track accordingly. Then the person who went to bed second moves their marker to position 2. Note that bonuses, so on until everyone has taken their turn. All players who were at the Midnight Carnival location now also slide into the dormitory, but do not receive the 6 energy there. But the bonuses / veil from the reputation and corresponding position of the player order. So here, so these 2 would do their thing, right? Boom, boom, 1, 2. Blue does their thing over here, but then slides into this 3rd position. They do get this benefit or hindrance. They do not get the 6 up there. They would also have gotten the 2 from being over there earlier. And the new turn order would become, so we'll say black was there also, red, then white, then blue, then black. So following dormitory order. Getting rest. If you do not want to receive the effect of the space for a wizard or magical beast that has already been placed, place it on the resting space on your character board, instead of resolving a space's effect. You receive 4 energy. This field can contain more than 1 meeple. Okay, so that's what it's showing on our board. Come down. So here it says +4. So if we chose to put that guy there, it would get me 1, 2, 3, 4 energy for doing so. For each person I put down there. So there's 4 spots for the wizards, and then he has 3 spots for animals because he can have up to 3. He can have his normal 2 plus the additional 1. Everyone else will have just 2 spots for their animals. It looks like. Oh no, I'm sorry. Misspoke. This is the resting spot right there. That's why the 4 is there. So this is where you put your resting person. It says the field can contain more than 1 meeple. So you can put more than 1 here. It's not however many get filled there. It's just in general, like, hey, you can put them on this spot and you'll get your +4. This is just the holding area for your meeples you have to use. So resting zone right there. Got it? Good. Back to the board. There we are. Magical events and intermediate scoring. After the evaluation phase of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th school years, a magical event and intermediate scoring occur. In the 1st and 3rd school years, you instead proceed directly to the cleanup phase. So a magical event, that's what these are here. So on the 2nd, 4th, 5th. After the evaluation phase of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th school year, reveal and resolve one magical event. The individual magical events are described in the corresponding section, which we'll get to. Then carry out the intermediate scoring to score your stars. So it's saying, so on the 2nd, you would flip this, do what the magical event says, and then you would proceed to the intermediate scoring. So for intermediate scoring, throughout the school years, you accumulate prestige in the form of stars, top of the board here, which bring you victory points to your house during the 3 intermediate scoring rounds. Depending on who has collected more stars, the more stars you collect during the school year, the more likely your victory becomes. Now, compare your amount of stars, which are your victory points, to be allocated such as this. Whoever has the most stars receives 3 VP. So whoever has the most stars receives 3 VP. Second most would get 2. Third most would get 1. And fourth probably doesn't get jack. If there's a tie, it's the current sleep order. So if you're tied for stars, whoever went to bed first would get more stars. You collect stars through the following events and actions. Rewards for magical events. These points are only counted in the next intermediate scoring and expire thereafter. In the following, this attribute is referred to as an expiring star. So, meaning the next, literally right after you do the event, when they do the immediate scoring, that's where the stars come into play. After that, they're lost. Possible rewards for the Midnight Carnival, which are expiring as well, meaning it's for this round, and that's it. Possible rewards for mischief cards, if any are used, same thing. This round, when they expire. Fulfilled prophecies, same thing, they expire. Possible bonuses from your magical beasts, again, only for this round, then they expire. Lord Expels, again, they expire. 1 bonus star for the 4th position in the classroom, which also expires after the round. You can earn 2 bonus stars by using the peeking at an event space. Again, expires if you do. Depending on the reputation of your house, you now gain or lose stars. So you get -1 star if your reputation is a -1. So on the board here, see that? -1 star if it's -1. +2 stars if you are at reputation of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so if you're up here, you actually get +2 stars. People love you. Okay. Your equipment, so brooms and wands. Here, you're going to add the equipment of all levels with those of all other levels. So all levels 0 to 2, all levels of 3 to 5. Your lower level equipment items are upgraded by the higher levels, not replaced. So that means if I had this broom, this doesn't replace this, it's just upgraded. So you still get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get 5 permanent stars for having both of those. But the permanent also, it has the infinite icon underneath the star to show that's permanent. If you adhere to the house wishes of your parent, you get the permanent 2 stars as well. So if you're tied for stars, again, it's the current sleep order, like I said before. So after the 1st and 2nd intermediate scoring, all spell cards from the section are discarded. So that's all of these will be discarded. And new spell cards will then be revealed to replace them accordingly. Return used spell markers to the houses. So any of these that were over on the board. Oh, sorry. Cannot see. There we go. So these will get discarded. New ones will come out. Any of these that are over here will get returned to their house. Okay. All magical beasts from the selection are discarded. So at the top up here, so all of these will be discarded. And new magical beasts will be revealed to replace them. All stars with expiring conditions will be reduced again. So meaning all of these will go back down. Update the star value on your track accordingly, which is that. After intermediate scoring, proceed to the cleanup phase. So the cleanup phase is also notated on the board right here. So intermediate scoring, cleanup phase. Okay. The cleanup phase proceeds as follows for all school years. So the moon icon means reveal the next Midnight Carnival card and replace the previous one. So this one will get replaced with the new one. The active teacher changes annually, so draw a new teacher card and replace the last active card under the teacher's deck. So this one would get replaced as well. Reveal a new duel card and replace the current duelist with those shown on the new card. The order changes, so for a 2 or 3 player, the order changes clockwise, meaning the right duelist observes while the previously observing person moves in the duel arena from the left. Okay, so here, it's just we're going to flip a new card, and now tell us the 2 new duelists, and then the ones who aren't dueling would then become the bystanders watching. You're going to retrieve your wizards / magical beasts. So you would take all your people back off the board. You will move the time marker to the next space, the start of the next school year. So this would come down. And you will replace the brooms and wands from the selection with the corresponding cards of level 3 to 5. If level 0 to 2 cards have not been purchased, they will now be removed from the game. So if you don't get a wand or broom early, it's going to be more difficult to have one at all later. So make sure you get your wand and your brooms, folks. Yeah, boom. All right. What do those say over there? Good. Cool. So it says tips are always symbols on the game board after the round or after the magical events that show which cards need to be replaced. This saves you having to look them up. So on the board over here, let's see if we got a good. There we go. Yep. So on the board over here, so here it just shows you the 3 cards that will be replaced. So here, the duel, I think it's the wizard, right? Duel, the knight, and the teacher. So those are the 3. So round 1 and 3, it's literally this, this, and this. That's it. It's not until 2 and 4 where you're going, so in 2 you're going through the broom situation and all the cards on the bottom. 4, you're just doing all the cards on the bottom because the brooms are already replaced. 5, you're not doing any of that, it looks like. Cool. All right. End of game and final scoring. So conduct the magical event and intermediate scoring for the 5th school year as usual. Skip the cleanup phase. After that, the final scoring takes place to determine the victorious house. To determine your total points, take the following into account. If you would get any victory points from the mischief cards, add them to your score. Mischief cards are these cards here. So some may give you points. Compare your darkness values. Whoever has the highest darkness value receives -2. So these are the darkness cards here. So those are the wrong way. Those should face down. But 3 darkness is that. So whoever has the most value, they get -2 victory points. Whoever is the second gets -1 victory point. Boom. Check who has completed the most prophecies. So that's these cards. Put them on the back here. The person who has the most completed prophecies gets +2. Second most +1. If 2 or more people are tied for stars, victory points, darkness value, or fulfilled prophecies, the current sleep order decides, like always. Okay. So now, that is the basics of how you play. So we're going to go through the important concepts and game elements. So the different locations of the board are the first thing that they go over here, the concept game elements. So I'm not going to read through these. It's a pretty straightforward. You can also just reference this as you need. What I'm going to go over is the magical events, essentially the last part here. So magical events, darkness cards, all of these things in the back that do need a little bit more explanation. So for the teachers, if the current supervising teacher belongs to your house, you don't draw darkness cards from the darkness spaces. So, i.e. in the farm, in the teacher's lounge, and also forbidden spells, classrooms. So, let's see here. There we go. So here, these say you draw a darkness card. So if the teacher values you, you do not. So if we go up to this teacher card right here, you see the white student. So the White House is valued by this teacher. So if Samantha, who's white, was to do her action down here, so if she did her action down here, she would not have to draw a darkness card because that teacher values that house. But be careful, if a teacher from your rival house is currently supervising, you draw 2 darkness cards instead of 1 each time you would draw a darkness card on the game board. So, if we go back to the teacher here, which is better? Is that better? That's easier. There we go. So you can see here it says 0 darkness cards, but here if the purple or black house went, it says +1, so they'd actually draw 2 for going to that space instead of just the 1 because she is not like that house. Okay. Some teachers also ensure that you all draw an additional darkness card, while other teachers turn a blind eye and let you perform the darkness actions without drawing any darkness cards. So the teachers are a fun mix. They change up what actions you are possibly doing, what darkness cards you're getting, and whatnot. Okay. Magical events. That's these over here. So throughout the game, there are 3 magical events. Handle the magical event according to the active card. The card shows you the values where its advantages have a lot. Wow. The card shows you values where it is advantageous to have a lot of it. So let's see. So this card here, okay, it is Skirmish Cup. So it says KO system. So between your, it probably looks like incompleted prophecies and mischief cards, darkness and energy. So lowest value is always eliminated until first place is determined. So it tells you on here what is most valuable. So here it looks like it's going to be energy and knowledge for the magical conflict. Here it looks like it's going to be strength and energy for Kina. It'll go over these here in a sec. So, however, you can always be 100% sure that energy is always an important component of the magical events. Usually you play several rounds until the winning person is determined. For your placements, you receive rewards as indicated on the game board next to the magical events. And then again, if you're tied, current sleep order. Okay, so we have, let me get those cards back out, I guess, actually, and we'll pull them out as we go over what they are so you can see them. Let's grab all these here. And we'll go right here. All right. So, let me get these in order. Okay. So, starting off, the first example that we have is the behemoth fighting. So it says highest total value from money and energy wins. So add up your energy and coin values, the highest total wins. The second highest total takes second, and so on. Straightforward. Next up we have dragon fighting. It says everyone secretly bets energy, highest value invested only once wins, doubles drop down to bottom. So for dragon fighting, you all secretly choose an energy value between 0 and 12 that you want to bet. Set this value on your energy dial. You do it simultaneously. All those who have the same energy value immediately move to the last position. The rule regarding sleeping order applies here. The highest unique value mentions wins. mentioned wins. The second highest unique value takes second place, and so on. So what it's saying is everyone's going to use whatever energy they have between 0 and 12. That's available. That's what you're betting. So here the example is Ben and Jerry both have 12 energy. Yeah. So if you have 10 energy, you can only go up to 10 to bet. So if I were to bet 8, and if another player bet 8, then we immediately go to third and fourth position, and then sleeping order dictates who falls in the third and who falls in the fourth. From there, whoever has the absolute highest unique value becomes first, and the second highest unique value becomes second. So if the two highest values were both 10, you immediately both go into last place because you tied at 10. If the next highest value was 5, and then after that it was 3, even though two people bet 10, the 5 is the winner because they were the highest unique value of energy bet. Make sense? Cool. If you have two doubles, so if you have two players that bet 10 and two players that bet 7, then I assume the two who bet the lower amount would go to third and fourth, and the two who bet the higher amount would go to first and second. It actually does not specify that specifically, but that would make sense to me. Okay. The magical conflict is the next. It says 2 1v1 duels in parallel. So knowledge is what you're using. So it looks like it says wand with the infinite star and secretly invested energy. Highest total value goes to the 1v1 finale. Loser goes to the 1v1 for third place. Okay, so let's see what that means. So magical conflict. This is only for 4 players. You can only do magical conflict for 4 players. So the magic tournament is an ancient tradition among witches and wizards. Not only those who cast the most powerful spells will prevail, but also those who can manage their magical energy wisely have an advantage. Don't exhaust yourself with the first spell. So in the magical conflict, you fight magical 1v1 duels against each other. The person with the fewest victory points chooses their opponent. First, this person plays around against this opponent, while the other 2 people play around against each other. All duelists take their energy dial and secretly choose an energy value to invest. Everyone then reveals their will at the same time. Now add the star value of your wand and your knowledge value to the energy value you have invested. Whoever has the highest total value wins. Tied, it's current sleep order. Remember that each duel costs energy, and the following duels must be fought with correspondingly adjusted and less energy. The winners of the 2 rounds then determine first and second place in the finale, while the loser and the first 2 rounds determine third and fourth place in the match for third place. So you're fighting 2 1v1 duels simultaneously. So the person with the lowest victory points here, it says, right? Person with the fewest victory points chooses their opponent first, then the other 2 go against each other. So you're secretly choosing the amount of energy that you have that you can use. Then you're adding that energy to your knowledge value and to the star value on your wand. Whoever's the highest wins, goes on to the finale. And then the 2 losers battle each other for third place. That's pretty cool. All right. So then you have what's called Quina. So Quina, this here. This is also only for 4 players. It looks like it's the same as the magical conflict, but using strength instead of knowledge. So Quina is the most popular sport among witches and wizards. Control over your brooms, as well as physical strength and endurance. Determine victory or defeat on your brooms. Ready, go. In Quina, you fight breathtaking 1v1 duels on your brooms against each other. The person with the fewest victory points chooses their opponent. First, the person plays around against this opponent, while the other 2 people play around against each other. Hey, Jen, if you're going to sing, can you close the door? Sorry. Alright, so next is Kina. So Kina is the most popular sport among witches and wizards. Control over your brooms, as well as physical strength and endurance, determine victory or defeat. On your brooms, ready, go. So in Kina, you fight breathtaking 1v1 duels on your brooms against each other. The person with the fewest victory points chooses their opponent. First person plays around against that opponent, while the other two play against the other. All duelists take their energy dial and secretly choose an energy value to invest. Everyone then reveals their wheel at the same time. Now the value of your broom to your strength and energy you invested. Whoever's the highest wins. Again, if you're tied, it's the current sleeping order. Remember that each duel costs energies, so use it accordingly. So the same thing as the magical conflict. The two winners go against each other, the two losers go against each other the same way. So it's literally the same thing, but using your strength instead of your knowledge. So then you have the Tri-Magic Triathlon, which is the next one. Boom. There. So shuffle the Tri-Magic Triathlon event action cards face down. At the start of each round, reveal one card from the Triathlon deck. So that is this right here. So we have these little decks that we put to the side earlier during setup. So these here. So we're shuffling. We'll just put those there for now. All right. So we shuffle them. At the start of each round, reveal one card from the Triathlon deck. Boom. Strength. On the card, you will find either a symbol for knowledge, strength, energy, or for reshuffle. So we have strength here. Compare your values in the respective category. The person with the lowest value is eliminated and takes last place. Then reveal the next card. Reveal the next card, the event of a tie. The lowest values, the current sleep order decides ties, as always. If you draw the reshuffle card, like we did here, shuffle the Triathlon cards together, the played and unplayed cards. So all these would get all shuffled back together. Boom, 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 boom. And then you play further rounds until a winner is ultimately determined. If a tie is unavoidable because remaining players have the same values, again, current sleep order would dictate the winners. Reshuffle. Blah, blah, blah. Reshuffle again. So you see that we're going to have a reshuffle, a strength, energy, or knowledge for the triathlon. Next up is potion brewing. Now, word about potion brewing, the symbols on these cards are incorrect. So they give you a download you can print out and like put in like a sleeve to have these cards. You can like literally glue the symbols on them. I'm not doing either of those. I'm just gonna have the caveat that hey, if potion brewing comes out, it's not knowledge and power. That's what these ones were. It's gonna be different ones entirely. So shuffle the potion brewing action cards, which are these right there. So again, there's 4 of those. At the start of each round, reveal one card from the triathlon deck. That's the reshuffle card. So we have our herbs. So on the cards, you will find either a symbol for herbs, for energy, or for goods. So these 2 symbols would be herbs or goods. So what you remember is that potion brewing is using your supplies, where the triathlon uses your skills. It makes sense thematically for the game, so it's easy to remember, it's fine. So then you literally do the same thing as you would for the triathlon. So whoever has the most goes through and does all that. So for each category, the person with the lowest value is eliminated. Reveal the next, continue to go until there's one winner ultimately. And again, sleep order decides the ultimate winner here. So if you drew the goods, it's whoever has the most goods. So I have 2 goods, so, and we'll say they have none, so I would win. All right. Then, lastly, we have the Skirmish Cup. So shuffle the Skirmish Cup action cards face down. So we have more action cards for the Skirmish Cup. Right there. Okay, so give those. I've never played, so they're already pretty much shuffled. We'll give them a good shuff there. Oh, guys. All right. Reveal the top card from the deck. Boom. On the cards, you will find either the symbol for Mischief cards and Unfinished Prophecies for darkness spaces you are standing on, or for energy, or for reshuffle. So, compare your values to the respective category. The person with the lowest value is eliminated and takes place. Then reveal the next card. The end of time. So it's the same thing as the previous one. So for this, it's literally however many of these spaces you're standing on. So literally that you have a person on. So if I have 2 people on there and the other individuals have 0, then I would win this. So then that's the reshuffle, so save these other ones. Then here you have Unfinished Prophecies, right? So like if this one's not finished, I have Unfinished Prophecies and Mischief cards in total. So like if I had this situation here, Mischief cards and Unfinished Prophecy, that would be 2. Where if somebody else only had an Unfinished Prophecy, that's technically 1. So I would win there as well. And then here, energy. So energy is in every single one of them. So energy is definitely valued in all of these. So I have the most energy, I would win there. So simple, straightforward, same as the other, the triathlon, the potion brewing, but it utilizes the other things that you could get in the game, which is really cool that everything has a purpose in the game. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the darkness cards. So the darkness cards are here. These right here, this deck here. So these guys. So let's get these out of the way here. We're done with you. Magical events. Go away. So these darkness cards and what they mean. If you place a meeple on a darkness space, so like my guys on the board here, you draw 1 darkness card. The person with the most darkness points at the end of the game will become the new dark entity. They who shall not be named. Aha. They will remove 2 VP from their track. They lose 2 VP for being the dark entity. The second highest will lose 1 VP. Ties, again, sleep order. The value of darkness cards lies between 1 and 3. So here's 3. There's a 2. Is there a 1 in here? There's a 1. There we go. Quick and dirty. There's a 1. 1, 2, and 3. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? So after 1, 2, 3, you may look at your own darkness cards at any time. The other player's cards are secret. You may inquire at any time about the amount of darkness cards held by a fellow player. In duels, you always discard exactly 1 darkness card and may discard it after you have chosen the gesture depicted on the darkness card. Discard darkness cards go face up in your discard pile. The gesture is on the side here, and you'll find out in a moment what that is meant for when it comes to the duel. But that is it. So these are the values you're adding up when it comes to the darkness value at the end of the game, and then those are gestures that are used during a duel. Okay, so we have objects, so we have our brooms and our wands. So objects can be purchased in the study room, which, as a reminder, is right here. In this area, there's 3 spots, and are very powerful, as they offer great rewards and, above all, lasting prestige, which can pay off in the evaluation phases. If you buy an object, you will own it until the end of the game. There are 2 levels of both brooms and wands. 0 to 2, which is weak. Objects exist from the beginning and from the start of round 3. And the remaining ones from the section are replaced by levels 3 to 5, which are strong. Each person can have a maximum of 1 broom and 1 wand of each level. Very cool. So I wonder why 3 to 5. I wonder what that means. 1 to 2, 3 to 5. 0 to 2. I guess it's just the, oh, because it gets replaced, that's why. Got it. Cool. If you buy one object, you may spend as many coins as the current round number shows. So 2 coins for round 2, 1 coin for round 1. If you buy one object, you spend as many coins as the current round number shows. At the same time, you must have a certain minimum value for your talent, which also corresponds to the current round number. Brooms are about strength, wands are about knowledge. Okay? So, oh, okay. So, it gives an example here. If you're in round 4 and you would like to buy a level 3 to 5 broom, this will now cost you 4 coins, which you discard. If you have at least 4 strength as a talent value, you can now equip the broom. Equip the broom next to your character board and receive the rewards it shows. Your previous 0 to 2 broom is still active, so the values will be added. So you can buy it without equipping it. Interesting. Is that what's out there? No, so it's at the same time. So you have to have the strength and or the knowledge to be able to buy and equip in whatever round you're in. Okay. So you'd have to have 4, in that example, you'd have to have, if it was round 4, you have to have 4 coin to spend, and you have to have 4 strength if you're trying to buy a broom in round 4. Okay. Brooms offer a chance of half victory points, but these are only scored if you really if you have both sides of victory points. So if you decide to get a half a point, 0 to 11, or sorry, 0 to 2, you choose also to make sure you get the other side of the victory point, 3 to 5. Otherwise, half point is wasted. And so what it's talking about, if we go up to our stuff here, these all have different benefits on them. So here there's a left half of a point and 2 stars. Here's a mischief card and 2 stars. And so they are different. So what they're saying is, if you got this half, you'd want to make sure, start to find it, that when you got the 3 to 4, you got this other half here. So that way these 2 halves can make a whole, and that's the only way that you're going to get the victory points for that. Okay. All right. On to the dueling. Okay. Don't get me wrong, theory is extremely important, but in real life situations, you also need quick reflexes and the ability to keep calm. For that, there's the dueling club and the dueling arena. Please familiar yourself with the rules and safety measures of the arena beforehand. This school does not need another Herbert McLaurie incident. In every school year, there is a duel. These take place in the duel arena. To take part in a duel, the active duel card of the current school year lists the houses, crests of the duelists facing off against each other. They are handed a wand. Boom. Boom. Everyone else belongs to the audience. So you're going to face each other and get ready for the duel. You may talk about what you will do in the duel and lie while doing so. Then hold your wands pointing up in front of your face. Close your eyes. Count to 3. During this time, you aim your wand according to one of the gestures described below. Now open your eyes. Now, based on the gesture you choose for your wand, the duel is evaluated as follows. So I'm going to go front for this so you guys can see. So the way it starts is each person has a wand. You will close your eyes. You will wand at the ready. And then you will choose a gesture. So one gesture could be to keep it right here. Don't move it whatsoever. The next is to point it at your opponent. You're attacking. The third is to go down to the side. And that is holding back. Those are the 3. Share, attack, or do nothing. Hold back. And you'll both do that simultaneously, and then open your eyes and see what each other chose. So if you share, again, sharing up like this. The tip of your wand points up. You offer your opponent to share the rewards of the duel. If your opponent also chooses share, you both win the share reward. If not, you go home empty-handed. So the share reward is right here at the top. That's what the reward is for sharing. If you attack, so pointing your wand at somebody, tip of your wand points forward to your opponent. You attack your opponent. If your opponent chooses to share, they did this while you did that, or hold back, so they pointed down while you attacked them, your attack is successful, and you win the duel and the attack reward. So if you're the only one who attacked, you win. If your opponent also chose attack, the audience wins. The audience reward. So the audience reward is, I believe, this right here. And then this is the attack reward right there. One person is attacking, so they get that. Here, both attacked, so everyone who's in the audience, these two spots, so that there's nothing in those symbols because there's nothing here in these symbols, where these ones have the two duels. So that's how you denote what the audience reward is compared to the attack reward. So audience reward, attack reward. And then there's the hold back, which is where you point your wand down towards the floor. So you're holding back and you do not attack. You'll receive your hold back reward in any case. So regardless, you're going to get your hold back reward. Your opponent will only receive their reward if they also choose hold back or if they chose attack. So if they chose to share, but you chose to hold back, they don't get a reward, but you get your hold back reward regardless. So the hold back reward is going to be the last thing on the card here. Symbol, boom, whatever that is. Looks like this one's a prophecy. Pretty straightforward. Okay. So then in duels, you always discard exactly one darkness card and may discard it after you have chosen the gesture depicted on the darkness card. Discard darkness cards go to a face-up discard pile. If a gesture was influenced by a mischief card, the newly adopted gesture counts as a wow. Sorry, this one's worded really. The newly adopted gesture counts, and a darkness card with the corresponding gesture is discarded. So it says you always discard exactly one darkness card, and may discard it after you have chosen the gesture depicted on the darkness card. So essentially, if you have darkness, it looks like since you always have to discard one of these, you have to choose one of the gestures on your darkness cards to do. And then that is where you will discard it. It seems like there are mischief cards that influence gestures as well. Let's see here. There you go. So convert an attack into a hold back. So you would choose the attack, but with mischief, it is actually a hold back. So this is saying that if you did the attack action, you could use your mischief after doing the attack, after seeing what the other person did, for it to become a, oh no, sorry, I'm thinking it this way. There it is. So you did the attack, so that way you can get rid of this darkness card, but it ends up being a hold back instead. If I'm understanding that correctly. So if a gesture was influenced by a mischief card, okay, the newly adopted gesture counts, and the darkness card with the corresponding gestures. Okay, never mind. So yeah. So in that example, the mischief card, the hold back would be the one that gets discarded. And I guess and the attack? Or it says only one? Exactly. You always discard exactly one. Yeah. Interesting. The gesture was influenced by a mischief card. Unless it becomes? after a duel. Convert an attack into a holdback. Weird. That one I'm a little fuzzy on. They're converting an attack into a holdback. There's no... Like, I get that an attack ends up being hold back, but why wouldn't you just hold back to begin with, I guess? I guess you attack to get the attack rewards, but then it converts to a hold back to get rid of the hold back darkness. Or that's the only way that it makes sense to me. So you would do so for that mischief, you would do the attack action to get the attack reward, but then you would use the mischief card, which converts that attack into a hold back, which then could get rid of your hold back darkness card. So if you had only a hold back darkness card, you typically would have to do the hold back. But in this situation, because you have the mischief, you could do the attack action, which would then allow you to get rid of this because it changes the gesture after the duel. Okay. Woo, my goodness. So then betting on duels from the audience. So these two, these two down here, they are allowed to bet. So if you're not actively dueling, you're part of the audience. During a duel, you may secretly bet on its outcome. Use one of your betting cards for this, but don't get caught. The administration of Foxpaw does not tolerate gambling. You may bet on one of 3 possible outcomes. So one is one player wins the duel, and so the betting cards are these here. Boom, boom. Right, so the first is that one player wins the duel. Okay, so an example would be one player chooses share, the other player chooses attack. The attack wins. Or one player chooses share, the other player chooses hold back. Hold back wins. Or both players win. So here, both players choose share, or both players choose hold back, or no player wins. So both chose to attack. There's the only option for that one. You bet on one of the mentioned outcomes, not on the victory of the specific person in the duel. If you're correct, you may take one resource of your choice from the supply. If you're wrong, nothing happens. So the choice is down here at the bottom. So same reward for any of them. Cool. Then we have prophecies. So we have these prophecies here. And a dead wizard. That's the prophecy. So prophecy cards. Prophecies are sensitive and very often personal matters. Keep your prophecies secret until you fulfill them, then reveal the card and immediately receive the reward in stars. E.g., you must have 5 goods in your inventory. So this looks as you must have 3 stars. And then when you do, you're going to go up 1 in each of those areas. Cool. So like objectives, it seems like. So in this case, you show the prophecy, receive the indicated stars as a reward. Nice. You do not have to spend the goods. Okay, you just have to have them. Nice. The person with the most completed prophecies at the end of the game gets plus 2 VP. The second most gets plus 1 if you're tired. Sleep order, like everything else. Place completed prophecies on a separate personal face-up discard pile. You may inquire at any time about the number of fulfilled or unfulfilled prophecies of your fellow players. All right. The Midnight Carnival. Over here. So for the Midnight Carnival, you have reward for the space in the same row. So cool. Then you have the reward, which is for independent of the spaces. Okay. So here, 2. Interesting. 4 broom warranted. So it's like down here, you can also purchase a broom or a wand. Here you can get a beast. Here you can refresh the teacher. Interesting. That's cool. This says in the back here. Reveal new teacher. Yeah. Cool. So there's 2 different kinds. So there's this, which has the immediate sort of benefit gained with it, which you can do. And then there's these, which says, okay, so you're going to trade 2 gold for 1 star. And you get that multiple times. So it's like a trade-in that you can do. Here, just get a star. These are temporary. They're not permanent. So cast a spell. And if you do, you get to gain a star. And then those are all gaining a resource of your choice. So that's why it's called Midnight Market. But this one is going to get to reset the teacher. Interesting. Okay, so then we have magical beasts, which are at the top of the board. Go big. Go home. Yeah, there we go. So top of the board here, we have our magical beasts. Way up there. So the magical beasts, let's actually go into them. There we go. So, if you have a magical beast, you take a magical beast meeple of your color or representative of the magical beast and place it with your wizardry figure. So when I get one of these magical beasts, I would take one of my magical beast meeples. I have 2 because I'm red. Okay. You can place magical beast on spaces just like your wizards, but not at night. If you place magical beast and space is scored, it counts as being exhausted. Turn the corresponding magical beast 90 degrees. After exhausting it for a second time, the card is turned 180 degrees. The magical beast is then facing the wrong way if it hasn't already been discarded. The number on your magical beast card shows how often you can exhaust it. If the magical beast number of exhaustions is reached, discard the magical beast after its last action at the end of the school year and put the magical beast meeple back in the farm afterwards. So all magical beasts have special skills that either give you a one-time bonus, like immediate resources, or permanent bonuses as long as they are in the game. Permanent bonuses are lost after you discard your magical beast. Resources you got through one-time bonuses may be kept, of course. Normally, you may only have one magical beast unless you have a card that says otherwise. If you buy a magical beast and end up having more than allowed, you may discard a magical beast immediately. Magical beasts already placed on spaces remain on their spaces until the round is over, even if a new one was bought in the same round. So, for the magical beasts. See here? Times 2 per use plus. Okay. So here, this number here, which is plus times 2, means you can exhaust it twice. Or how's it go? That's what it means twice, but 9 degrees. Okay, now. So you keep turning it to show the number of times you can exhaust it. So essentially, this one says you can exhaust twice, which means after you use it once, you turn 90 degrees. When you use it again, flip it upside down. Now, because it says times 2, that does mean that that point, it would get discarded. If it had a 3, you'd be able to use it one more time, which would be 3, turn it again, and that's when you would discard it. So turning the card helps keep track of what it's doing. Here, when you use it, it says you can, per use, you get +1 mischief card. And here it says, per use, each other player already present at this location draws a darkness card. So you must exhaust it every time you put out your magical beast. Meeple, I assume. Yes. If you place a magical beast and the space is scored, it counts as being exhausted, and the space is scored. Don't know what it means by the place space is scored. I assume if you use your magical beast, then it's going to exhaust when it says, and the space is scored. So it means if you use the space for its activation. You'll go with that. And the space is scored. No idea. All right, so mischief cards, which is this deck here. Boom. We'll talk about them a bunch. So these are powerful cards that can give you an advantage at your opponent's disadvantages, and which mostly receive at night. There's no limit to the amount of mischief cards you may hold or that you can play, but keep in mind that those sought-after cards sometimes get stolen. The phases in which you can play your mischief cards is indicated on each respective card. Learning spells. So that's why we're talking about with the duel. So you do that one. You can do the attack action, knowing you're going to play the mischief card afterwards, which then would allow you to get rid of the hold back darkness card, which is what you would have initially had to do to get rid of the darkness. Essentially, the darkness influences your gestures. Like it's taking over you, making you do things. So learning spells, which is all over there. So let's go outside of the table. Perfect. Right here, learning spells. To learn new spells, you need to visit the classroom during the placement phase. So the classroom is right here. Okay. Lost this spot. During the placement phase, place your wizard or magical beast on a classroom space and learn the corresponding spell when resolving the space. Important, you may only learn the same spell once, but each regular spell may be learned up to by up to 3 houses. Forbidden spells by up to 2 houses. So what they're talking about with the forbidden spells, I believe, are they're these down here at the bottom of the board. There's only 2 spots. So if your reputation score is less than 3, you can learn 1 spell available in the classroom. If your reputation score is more than 3, you can learn up to 2 of the spells available in the classroom for each action space in the classroom. Okay? So spending the resources shown on the card to learn spells by returning the resources to the supply. And then place your spell marker in the highest available position of the chosen spell. So, if I wanted to learn this spell here, I have to spend 1, 3, nothing, and 2. So 2 energy, 1 supply, and 3 herb. If I did, I would then place this right there on the topmost location. I believe I would get the benefits on the side there as well here. So 2 temporary stars and a prophecy, it looks like. So regular spells have 3 positions for markers, with the first position granting you 1 bonus star as you occupy. It pays to be first player to learn each spell. Teachers love that. Okay. Forbidden spells. Oh, wait a minute. So regular spells have 3 positions per marker, with the first position granting you 1 bonus star if you occupy it. Oh, I see, at the top there. So it's talking about this bonus star it gets you if you occupy that top space. Cool. Forbidden spells only have 2 spaces, but grant mightier rewards. Draw 1 darkness card after learning a forbidden spell. You need an adequate wand to cast a forbidden spell, recognizable by the forbidden spell symbol. What is the forbidden spell symbol? Is it on the wand? I don't know what the forbidden spell symbol is. Oh. So some wands don't allow you to cast forbidden spells. Interesting. Okay. How many wands let you cast forbidden spells? Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Oh, there's only 3 that allow you to cast forbidden spells, it looks like. Yeah. Let's get all these wands over here. Let's see. So, looking at, actually, we'll go to the one here. There we go. So it looks like there's 3 wands that allow you to cast forbidden spells. So, in a 4-player game, 3 people can get wands powerful enough to do so. So, this symbol here that you can find on that card, which is a 0 to 2. This one, which is a 0 to 2. So 2 of the 0 to 2 cards allow you to cast forbidden spells. And this one there, which is a 3 to 5, allows you to cast forbidden spell. None of the other ones have that symbol on them. So if you don't have that specific wand, you can't cast a forbidden spell. That's cool. I dig that. Nice. All right. If all spell spaces are occupied, this was working actually, and it cannot be learned anymore. If a spell is exchanged, for example, through cutting in line in the teacher's lounge or after a magical event, you get your spell markers back that were on that spell. It's the only way that you can cast spell. Okay, cool. So something can cause someone to take a spell spot. Stars obtained through spells are only active to the intermediate scoring and expire thereafter, unlike your equipped weapons and brooms, wands and brooms. Each provide permanent bonuses. You always earn the stars through spells anew. So the spells you learn give you temporary stars. There's some two-player game setup stuff for Julian Club and some alterations. So I'm not going to go over that. There's a short overview in the back of the book for the 3 to 4 players, just so you can keep track of all that information that we just went over. I'll do a quick recap here really quick. Let's get out to the large thing here. Okay, so the turn order is very simple. So based on this, everyone takes turns putting out a wizard and your magical beasts onto one spot. So you all do this one at a time, one spot, blah, 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 all the way around. One wizard from each player has to go on a night space, either the night market here or the dormitory there. Dormitory will determine turn order next time. Any meeples put onto the sun spaces, you activate the moment you put the meeple there. Everyone else activates in order of this pathway. So once meeples are all out, these are resolved. Now you're going to follow this path, start off with the Dueling Club. Dueling Club is where you will face off against someone, wand up, share, attack, hold back. If you have darkness cards, like this one that has hold back, if you have this, then you have to do the hold back action because you have to discard a darkness card when doing so. Because I believe it does say you always discard one card, which means you have to do that. Yep. Always discard one. So darkness influences your actions. So darkness, if you get it, is going to make you do stuff. So the only way you get rid of them is by being in the duel and having to take that action. But that's where mischief cards, you could do an action, then use a mischief card to change it to another action after the fact, which essentially just allows you to get rid of a darkness card by doing a different action. Anyway, so duel, then you go over here, based on where you're at, you pay your energy to get your bonus. You can pay additional energy for each empty space below you before the next person to gain more if you so choose. Same thing for knowledge. Here's where you can buy brooms and wands. To buy brooms and wands, based on the year it is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's how much gold it's going to cost, and how much power you have to have for a broom or knowledge for a wand. So if you want to get a broom in round 2, you need to pay 2 gold and have a strength of 2 at least to be able to buy that broom. Same goes for the wand, but for knowledge. Those are replaced once you get to the end of round 2, and the 3 to 5 brooms come out. And those numbers are dictated to match the rounds, so you know which ones are out there properly. For the spells, which is down here, which comes next, you learn spells by paying the resources. To learn the spells, you put your gem out there, you gain the bonuses. The first place gets an additional star. Those are temporary stars, hence they don't have the infinity symbol on them. To the forbidden spells, you have the specific wand that allows you to do forbidden spells. There's only 3 of them in a 4-player game, 2 of them in a 3-player game or less. And then it comes down to the nighttime, where you go through the dormitory stuff. So here, if you went to the dormitory and went to bed early, you get the boost of the reputation, and you get the 6 energy. If you go here to the night market, you get the energy for the spot, and the bonus over here. Then you come over this way afterwards, and then that determines turn order. At the end of each year, or round, you go through various things. So 1 and 3, you simply cycle the teacher, the night market, and the duel. Number 2 and 4. So 2, 4, 5, you will do a magical event. Then after the magical event, you will go through the rest of the cleanup phase that is down here. So 2, you're replacing the brooms and the wands. Pretty straightforward. Then you're going to be doing the teachers, the duel, the night market, but you're also going to be doing the creatures and the spells as well. Then in 4, you're just doing the teacher, duel, knight, creature, spells, and in 5 you're just doing the event, and that's it. Yeah, pretty easy. Setup is straightforward. Like, put all the cards out where they belong. Choosing your house, that's a fun little thing that can get you some early bonuses or not. You have skills on here, which the skills you can read to go over. I don't want to spoil that for anybody, but very cool. It really feels like you're kind of in this realm and getting your resources, like training up your magic, getting your strength to get your wand, to get your broom, to do these other things, getting these beasts that give you benefits and help you out, which is not only placing them, but when you place them, they do things, which is really cool, to learning spells, to darkness controlling you. That's awesome. To being able to complete prophecies for point. Like, come on. So cool. Can't wait to dive into this. I think board is definitely going to love this for sure. Also a note, for any of you who just got the game, because it does come in the German and the English version, there's this Obsidio card that comes, but it's wrapped up in the German portion. So if you already did the English version, make sure you take this out and hold on to it, because it does assist you with these items here. I don't really know what 3, 2, 2, 10. I think it's for solo. The Obsidio card, I believe. If I am correct, I may not be. I don't know. I have no idea what the Obsidio card is for. It doesn't say in here. Is that part of 2-player? Yeah, so it's part of 2-player. 2-player game, you use the Obsidio card wrapped up in there. So just keep that with all the housing stuff, whatever. All right, so then we have the Lost Roots here, which I'll touch on very quickly. So this is what comes in the Lost Roots. So that's where you get the greenhouse and all of its characters and stuff, cards. That's where the plastic wands came from. The main game comes with some punch board wands, so the plastic ones definitely feel a lot better. They're not going to get bent when you hit them on the table. Somebody will. But so for this, so that is the German section. I cannot read that. There we go. Rules. So in the book, you have the English portion of the rules. So the story for this: when the Dark Wizard Mensorge tried to seize power, the bravest of all wizards stood in his way. They fought a duel with him and his dark brood for several days, in the cold rain and the rumbling dark clouds, until Ella Damtru, the teacher of House Evergrow, was able to snatch the wand from Menorch, I think, Menorch? Whatever. With a clever maneuver. Unfortunately, she died in the situation. And, as if that wasn't cruel enough, Menorch also managed to cast one last sinister spell in revenge. Oblivisky. What is... I don't know. I'm trying to remember what Voldemort's spell was. Oh, Avada Kedavra. Through this powerful and forbidden spell, the entire House Evergrow disappeared from Foxpaw and from everyone's memories. All that remains of House Evergrow is a gravestone with the house badge near the school. Menorch has been a prisoner in Aramis, Alcatraz. No, not Alcatraz. That's an actual place. Shit. Whatever. Ever since. Let's hope that never changes. With this expansion, you can integrate the House Evergrow into your games. Additional rules are described below. So House Evergrow has no teacher, as the other Damtree is no longer alive. House Evergrow is therefore neither favored nor disadvantaged by teachers. The darkness cards that House Evergrow must draw, therefore, do not change. The numerical value for House Evergrow on the board is always exactly 1. Since House Evergrow has never an option for parents and was erased from everyone's memories, anyone who joins this house is will always receive both abilities. If you are playing with 4 players and House Evergrow has been chosen, the original 4th house is now always replaced by House Evergrow in the duel. So, for example, if Ignis, the red house, was not chosen, anything in the game that references Ignis, for dueling, if it references Ignis, is now House Evergrow. But not everything else, like not with the teachers or anything of that sort. So they have their own skills, which I'm not going to read, so figure that out. There is a solo mode now that you can do because of House Evergrow, and it has additional rules for that, and then how they make their moves. So in solo, I think you're playing against Evergrow. Yeah. But that's pretty much it for the expansion. Worth it, though. A lot of goodies. Okay. that was a lot of information. But reading through the rulebook a second time, very straightforward once you get a grasp on it. Again, the language barrier can make it a little confusing at times to read through as to what things mean. Like when it said, if you place this down and it's scored, like I assume it meant like if you put it down and like you get something for the spot. Like if you're using the character, then you exhaust your beast. So that's kind of what we're gonna have to house rule until we find clarification on that. But yeah, my goodness. Whew. They definitely went in deep on the wizarding world and how to make this feel very much in theme. So, thank you for joining me here at Baldwin Board Games as I gave you the rulebook rundown, nice long one, of Foxpaw. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll definitely try to get through and answer those for you. If you have comments about things that I may have interpreted incorrectly, definitely put that down there as well. That'll help out everyone who watches the video. Other than that, thank you for joining me here at Baldwin Board Games. I'm Bald, and I will see you in class.